today's video, we're going to go over activating that glute stabilization in the single leg stance in a standing exercise using a wall to assist us, as well as other tools to make it even more effective. In my experience, most people that are actually starting with this exercise that you see really commonly, standing on a single leg, using a wall to press against to activate that glute, it is still too difficult in order to hold that leg up, balance, and activate. So we're going to use a yoga block and our nice silicone toe spacers to make it even easier and more effective so you can build that foundation effectively. So you're going to put your yoga block in that tall position on the floor right alongside the wall. We're going to put our toe spacers on. So our toe spacers are making it so much easier for us to ground our feet and initiate that core stabilization from the foot up the chain, which we know is essential. Being able to ground that whole foot, lift up that transverse arch of the foot, press the big toe into the ground with the other four toes is essential for being able to activate those deep hip stabilizers. We're going to use the yoga block in order to support our other foot so we don't have to work so hard at holding the leg up and trying to concentrate on what's happening in our working leg. This exercise is really great. You are going to use the wall to press the knee against for a 5-second activation. This pressing the opposite leg into the wall makes you turn on those deep hip stabilizers as long as the load isn't too much and everything is set up properly. You're going to get a great activation out of this really quick movement pattern. So you want to make sure that the working leg, so here my left leg, my foot is straight forward. I have my whole foot really grounded. I'm pressing the pads of my toes into the floor. My knee, it has some softness to it. It is not locked straight. And when I'm standing up, my shoulders are stacked over my hips. I can feel my glutes activated to support my leg in this position. I'm going to place my whole foot on the yoga block just so that it's comfortable. I want the outside of this knee touching the wall. I do not want the outside of the hip touching the wall, so there should be space here. And from here, you might have to shift the working leg so that it's actually underneath your hip a little bit more. Right now, my foot is to the inside of this hip, so I'm just going to move it out a little bit just so I'm lined up properly, nice and squared off to the front. So my left foot is forward, I'm double checking my pads, my knee is soft, and my shoulders are stacked over my hips. I'm not leaning back, I'm not leaning forward. I can feel some activation just standing here in those glutes. Now, I'm going to take a nice deep breath in. As I let my breath out, I'm going to let my rib cage translate down naturally. I'm going to draw in that core, that deep stabilization. I'm going to tense up the rest of my body, but keeping a soft knee on that working leg. Now, for 5 seconds, I'm going to press this right knee into the wall, and that's going to fire up my left glute stabilizers. Okay, so let's take a breath in. As you let that breath out, lock everything in and press the knee for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if this is very new to you, you might have to very consciously activate those glutes. But because we're using the toe spacers to activate our feet, we're using the yoga block, so we're not also trying to hold up this leg, you're going to be able to do that a lot easier. So let's do 5 repetitions of this 5-second hold. Take a breath in. As you let your breath out, let your rib cage translate down. Draw in underneath that belly button. Stiffen up everything else in your body. Soft knee on the working leg and press into the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Okay, take a breath in. As you let that breath out, set everything up. Soft knee on the left, glutes activated on the left, and press the knee for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Reset, breath in. Set your foundation. and press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. We got 2 more. You should be really feeling it in those glutes now. All right, take a breath in. As you let that breath out, engage that core. Make sure those shoulders are stacked over your hips and press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Last one. Make sure you keep that soft knee on the left so you really engage those glutes. Take a breath in. Don't let that foot start to turn out either. You want to make sure those toes are straight forward. Okay, take a breath in. Let that out. Engage. Set your foundation. Fire those up. And now press to the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. To make this more challenging, all you're going to do is actually move yourself away from the wall. Now your pelvis will still be squared off to the front, and your working leg will still be underneath your hip, but the right hip that's pressing into the wall will be turned out. Okay, you'll have some external rotation in that activating hip, and using that press in the wall will make it a lot harder to stabilize. As you get good at that transition, now you can start working back to the beginning, taking away the block, so you also have to do it without a support underneath that activating leg. Repeat it on the other side. Do 5 repetitions, 5-second holds once a day, and see how that helps build some stabilization for you in not only that walking gait, but also running.